Hello everyone, welcome back. So today we're going to be playing Mel, and we'll be facing off against the Volibear adventure from the Titans of Runeterra campaign. Now, normally you might think Mel is going to fare poorly against this adventure, mostly because of the fact that when you generate a card it gets its cost set to 3, so the little spell that Mel generates has its cost increased, as do most of the cards you would normally want to play with Mel. But the thing is, this power also works to reduce the cost of very expensive cards, so my plan is to basically just go for expensive spells and use the Chemtech duplicator on Mel to double them up, maybe draw into them consistently with the Searing Brilliance, and use Mel's power to just increase the damage of the high cost spells and keep control of the board. Also, the Lost Chapter is there because it's just extra spell mana, which sometimes is relevant. Titanic Quake, Fortifications, Dragon's Rage. None of these are that appealing, so let's reroll. Righteous Indignation fuses Lit Perfection. When you damage an enemy or the enemy nexus, grow that damage to 4. That's huge with the Sacrifice for Progress. That goes from dealing 2 to dealing 4 to everything. Sure. Now this first encounter is probably not going to be that interesting, but once I do get some high cost spells into the deck, that's when things are going to start being fun. Ooh, the rebuttal has Blasting Sigil. That's good to know. I didn't even consider this would be high cost enough to get Blasting Sigil on it, but it makes sense. That's fine. Let's double up on the card that has the I had to sneeze. Double up on the card that has the Mark of Medarda. Fortunate part is that I'm going to struggle getting rid of the Radiant Volleys I'll generate. I'll manage somehow. Let's get more Howling Gales.
Hear that?
It's fine. We're going to get rid of that right away. Actually, no, we won't. Because I'll need that spell in order to protect the Mel from the Challenger. Or maybe I won't. I was fully expecting the opponent to pull the Mel with the Omen Hawk. I don't know why he didn't. Oh well, I guess the opponent wanted to take extra damage. And now I just close out the game. Guess I have to let the opponent play stuff in order to do that though. Buffing up his own deck. Actually not his own deck, only the top card in his deck. Ooh, that would be a problem. If it weren't for the fact that I can just do this and have the unit deal 20 damage to itself and to the opponent's nexus. Did level 1 Mel always give your spells Overwhelm? I'm pretty sure it was only the level 2 version that gave spells Overwhelm. Did they change that in between times I played Mel? I'm not certain. Definitely want the Withering Mist. For 1 less mana and dealing double damage, no way I'm passing that up. This is interesting, but none of them are good enough. Even though, like, the Kampong Shredder deals 4 to everything. The Blood Hunt deals 4. I just want higher cost spells like that. True Shot Barrage. And Static Shock. Yep. Let's take the Ezreal. Now, do I want to go for the Stargazer? Or for the Unscarred Revert? As we figured last time around, the Stargazer is actually a harder encounter. So let's go for it. Since the rewards are basically the same. Let's try and challenge ourselves. I will definitely want to keep the Rebutal. Maybe I'll keep a True Shot Barrage, just because it's the card that has the Mark of Medarda. Don't draw an Ezreal, thank you. I was worried for a second that I wouldn't be able to double up on the spells I'm going to play here. No buff on the first turn for that unit, it seems. Well, in that case, let's try to bait the opponent into committing more units onto the board, so I can double up on the True Shot Barrage on them. Perfect. 6. Let's double 4 and just do 2 to remove the spell shield. Now the True Shot Barrages are going to ramp up immensely. We even got an Elora, just so we can get even more True Shot Barrages going. It's fine. It's fine. I don't mind you silencing my unit opponent, I already got enough value out of it. I am getting my hand full though. I'm going to have to close out the game soon, otherwise I'm going to start burning cards. Ooh, Ezreal leveled up. That's one way to close out the game. Especially since Ezreal's damage actually gets increased by the perfection to 4 damage to the opponent's nexus instead of the regular 2 when you target a unit. Attack here. Yeah, let's attack here. Try and go for the kill. That's fine. You're just going to die this way instead.
Focus. Do not lose your composure. A paradigm shift. Can't stop me.
Turns out this wasn't that much of a challenge. I was fully expecting the opponent to do something like they did yesterday, where they went and buffed the Broad-backed Protector to an absurd degree, and I struggled to deal with it. But they didn't, so I was fine. Do I want the Boom Ship? 3 damage, deal 4, summon 4 powder kegs? I guess. Could be worse. Blowback, deal 1 to the enemy. To an enemy and the enemy nexus, discarded 2 cards to increase the damage by 1 for each card discarded. Nah. Withering Mist, Invoke. Not great either. Gem Crafting. I already have Gem Crafting in the as a power, so doubling down on it doesn't seem that bad. Now my units in hand are going to grow even larger based on the amount of spells I cast. Malphite is probably not going to be a problem for us. We'll be able to go over the top with damage. But Volibear might be a problem, especially if he finds a way to remove Mel immediately on the first turn. If I drop Mel down on the first turn, that is. I wanted to go for Mel here, but it's fine. I'll just go for Azrael instead. I'll generate a Mystic Shot and get rid of that thing's spell shield. No, I really do need to remove its spell shield because it can attack. Or it's an elusive, so not everything can block it. This might be a problem. I desperately need the Mel. 6. This does how much? 2 to an enemy, and 2 to another. 6. Actually, the damage gets set to 4 no matter what, so I can go 6 for 4. So that's fine. Because then I go Static Shock that deals 4. And I can go for that on here 4. Here another 4. The problem is 2 of the opponents didn't survive. Can I do this? Does that clear everything? No, it doesn't, because the damage happens at the same time on both units. So I guess I have to be content with doing this and just clearing 2 of the opponent's units. No attacks, really? I figured the opponent would attack since he would restore some health, and the opponent's units would trade rather favorably against the Azrael. I mean, they would trade into it and die, but at least one of them would survive and get through and get itself back. I guess the opponent didn't want to risk his own units.
Let's take this puppy for a spin.
A hand cannon, huh? Original.
How do I want to do this? Let's just do this setup so that next turn I can go ahead and clear everything with True Shot Barrage, maybe. And I do this just so I can draw an extra card with the Academy Prodigy. I wanted the Academy Prodigy to survive. Unfortunately, that didn't come to pass. Let's deal 22 here, 20 here, and 18 there, I suppose. Clear everything, deal a bunch of damage to the opponent's Nexus.
Easy as one.
I have remootals for whatever he summons to contest the board, yep. And I can even go for the Mel.
Is at my fingertips.
So the rebuttals deal even more damage. And they actually do result in the opponent dying here. Neat. Okay, that was a struggle, but it was mostly due to the fact that I didn't get Mel on my opening hand, so my deck kind of fell apart. Because I wasn't doubling up the spells I was playing. This is all terrible. I want large spells. Noxian Guillotine isn't a large spell. Either is Pokey Stick. But at the very least Pokey Stick draws 2 when I play it. Meanwhile the Noxian Guillotine just does nothing. Let's take the welcome gift, I guess. The extra attack isn't going to be relevant because I'm not killing the opponent with damage from my units, I'm killing them with spells. Let's remove the last because it has its cost increased. Or it gets its cost increased by the power. Now all of the cards in my deck are 3+ cost, so in theory they all have their cost either reduced or they're unchanged by the power of the adventure. And with Mel on board, I don't have to worry about the opponent keeping a board of his own. Now, the real question is, does the opponent have a removal for 1? And I'm pretty sure it doesn't.
The arcane is
Unless it's like the shard. Of course he has the shard, why wouldn't he? How do I do this? Till 4 summon 4 powder kegs. I guess I have to let Mel die for free.
Don't blink.
We're going to go for the Azrael. I'm going to set up so that hopefully, maybe, I'll be able to clear that thing, or that thing, and clear the rest. Doesn't seem like it. Well, at the very least I can do this. Does set up a clear. Never mind. The opponent silenced my barrels and removed my Azrael. I just take 50 here then. Actually 36. And I have to part with my barrels. Let's just hope the opponent doesn't have
Place. Let's see all.
burn over the top. They have used most of his spikes already,
Give me a weapon.
so maybe I'm safe. More silences, really. And now Malphite has overwhelm.
Charged up and ready to
Things
go.
aren't really looking up for me.
The sincerest form of flattery.
He will probably block the Academy Prodigy with Malphite, but I have to attack here. He didn't block with the Malphite.
Lucky shot.
That's huge. Maybe there's a chance. If I do this, both of those die. I need to set it up so that I can maybe chain stuff. Like, he drops something here. Never mind, the opponent's stunning the Azrael. I can still do this and heal 15. Clearly clear his entire board. I have to do this, otherwise I die. But at the same time, if the opponent follows it up with something else, I die anyway. So I think I have to do this just so I have something to do. If he follows up with something else, now I can safely do this. Restore 15. Set up maybe a kill here if the opponent summons another unit, just like that. Oh, that was nerve-wracking. Here was I saying we wouldn't struggle against Malphite. If the opponent has another Malphite, I'm screwed, but I need to drop this down for the sake of card draw. Fortunately, he hasn't played enough landmarks for that to remove. That's a problem though. It's going to get rid of my card draw. Yep, there goes my card draw engine. Oh, but we got the Mel, it's fine. Now we can start doubling up our spells. And he didn't draw removal for Mel.
Black Rose will answer for
That
all.
was nerve-wracking for a moment. But now it's smooth sailing from here. Probably. Do I want to go for the ignition? Nah. Let's just deal 8 to the opponent's nexus twice. Actually not 8, 10 twice. Because the damage gets increased by our power. Now we just need to deal 10 twice again. Once again, Mel proving that she's an invaluable part of the deck, because when she's not on board, we just lose. Unfortunately, the opponent ran out of cards. Otherwise, I would be in a terrible position and he would have won. Giant Svelte or Chain Vest? I guess I'm picking up the Giant Svelte. Actually, no. The Radiant Plate Armor gives more stats and it's basically the same because Mel's cost gets set to 3 anyway. I still don't have a way to protect the Mel though. I guess we try to roll Spell Shield off of the Welcome Gift. Both of them. Another champion item chest. I definitely want that Spell Shield, so let's go for it. Maybe I get a Spell Shield there. Because I want to be able to drop down Mel on the first turn. To start getting the doubling up of the spells against Volibear. And I know for a fact Volibear has a lot of removal. So I might be in a lot of trouble if he removes Mel. That's why I want Spell Shield so bad. In order to protect her from the opponent's spells. Well, or at least one of them.
Hey, Solari! Got a bit of moon rock for ya!
Let's remove that. Which also sets up a kill on that thing next turn. I suppose I can do this.
Steady is stagnant.
It does generate another unplayable card though. These sport things, if only I could get some items on the Radiant Volleys, maybe they wouldn't be so useless in this adventure. Oh well. I can actually go Withering Mist here. Just clear everything. Regenerate 6 health. That's still fine. Actually, I'm at full health. Really? I thought my maximum health total was 50.
Charged up and
I
ready.
guess I was wrong. Maybe I'm misremembering. Do I want to attack here? I'm at 8 cards in hand. I go to 10. I can just set up a large boom ship instead by doing this. And then I'll just nuke the opponent with whatever spell I play. Unless he removes my powder kegs, that is. No, he would rather silence the Academy Prodigy instead. A weird decision by the opponent. Let's see if it goes well for them. That's still 20. Actually 22 plus 4 here, yep. And now I just killed the opponent. Turns out my unit's attacks did matter. At least against this opponent. Didn't expect that. I figured I would have enough burn to never have to attack with my units. Through shot barrage, aftershock, reckless Riferian. Aftershock replacing itself is fine. And it helps deal with landmarks. The opponent might have some troublesome ones. That's what I wanted. Now Mel is safe against the opponent's removal. And you place slow spell, copy it onto the same targets. And we do have a decent amount of slow spells, so for once that power isn't completely useless. Draw 6 plus cost spell from your deck and refill your mana. There's no way that's bad, right? It's 3 mana, draw a good card, and essentially refill my mana. Champion item chest, spells chest, no. Let's go for the champion item chest. While the spells chest would be nice, I already have enough large spells in my deck. The through shot barrages alone are enough. Or they should be enough. Let's toss that back, toss that back. I'm definitely keeping the boom ship with the Mark of Matarda. And the rebuttal, just in case the opponent summons a large Poro.
Inaction invites regret.
Ooh, like that. But I can double boom ship that. I'll play the Ezreal first.
World's a big place. Let's see
I
all
can
of
set up so that we can use one of the opponent's units to kill. Oh right, the boom ship is a slow spell, so it gets cast multiple times. Forgot about that part.
it. One shot, all
Whoa.
skill.
24 powder kegs. Guess that's from the boom ship being doubled up. Now all of my spells obliterate the opponent. Well, I guess I have to go for the second boom ship, right? Just chain multiple boom ships in a row. Get even more damage on the powder kegs, from the powder kegs. Maybe kill the opponent. Yep, just like that. Now I'm realizing that the damage from the boom ships is actually proccing on the damage from our power as well. And the damage we're doing to the opponent's nexus from the overwhelm granted by the Mel to the spells. Which is extremely interesting. I didn't think it would work out that way. Well, fortunately it does, because that means my run is going that much easier. And now for the final challenge. Aftershock being the one that has the Mark of Madarda. Not perfect, but it will do. I would have preferred it if it was the boom ship though. Well, I want to go for Mel on the first turn. I do have 2 Mels, so I think I can afford to do this. Be a bit aggressive with Mel. Then I go for the boom ship. So I generate a bunch of spells. Or just a bunch of powder kegs, I mean. Ooh, there goes the opponent's Volibear. All your spells and skills deal an extra 25 damage. Destroy me when your spell or skill damages enemies or the enemy nexus. So I can go for this safely, just to refill my mana and draw some more spells. My spell's base cost isn't 6 plus. It should be though. Yeah, it only works on cards in the hand. So maybe it's because the oh, it's not base cost 6 plus, it's just 6 plus cost spell. So since the True Shot barrages have the cost reduction item, their actual cost is not 6 plus, even though their base cost is. That's my bad. Didn't realize, or I should have known that it would work out that way. It's still good enough because I refilled my spell mana, and now I can go for even more spellcasts. That's a problem. All of my boom ships are going to be wasted if the powder keg dies. I suppose I can do this just so the powder keg doesn't get wasted.
Focus. Do not lose your composure.
I really want to close out the game this turn. That's 58 damage. That's fine. Plus 10. And we have enough damage to close out the game. Perfect. For a second there, I thought we wouldn't. Even then, I could still attack with Mel, so it was fine. Well, that went
Lackluster subdued.
a lot better than I expected. I figured since we would be picking up high-cost spells that are usually slow, the games would be a bit longer, but they were all rather short. Still, definitely a lot more fun than the Elder Dragon adventure from yesterday. Well, at least I had to think a bit more sometimes. So yeah, that will be it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye. Till then.